Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good.
Matt, that's great. Matt, unfortunately, I'm not 100% right now.
I know.
Mostly because my ears feeling a little clogged. Maybe, this might be TMI, but need to give those ears a flush now. And
Jaren,
Matt,
did you push a Q-tip too far in?
Matt, ever since I learned that Q-tips aren't supposed to go in your ears, I've been, trying to avoid that. But, Matt, you know what grinds my gears?
Is it the Q-tip that you put in your ear anyways?
Maybe, but Matt, normally, this is going to sound so, as someone who for the past 2 weeks told you about their stupid purchases and encouraged you to do your own stupid purchases, Matt, you know what grinds my gears?
Well, grind your gears, Jaren.
Where you could get a ear flushing, you can go to a clinic or whatever, an ear specialist, and typically they'll flush your ears, at least I would perceive it to be, $10 to $15, because that's how much I paid in the past, Matt.
Oh, you paid to get your ears flushed?
Yeah, previously I have.
Okay.
When my nurse mother or my nurse aunties were not available. So... so, $10 to $15. And then Matt, stop me if you heard this before, but the pandemic happened. And when looking around the general area for ear flushing cleaning or ear flushing, ear cleaning, Matt, $55.
Damn.
$55, and these still expect you. I mean, you have to oil or, put medicine, eardrops in your ears prior anyway, just a few days prior. But if I'm paying $55, I better be able to go in and then get that flushed without me needing to do extra work on my end. That's my Jaren rant for the week. And for a minute there, Matt, I was, we were doing our pre-show. I was trying to talk to you. I was doing a test, Matt. I had my headphones only over the ear that's currently clogged up, Matt. Could barely hear you and did not feel good.
Oh man, Jaren, have you considered just buying like an ear flushing kit?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, Matt or Jaren, have you considered just getting new ears? Which I wish, Matt. I wish. I do have an ear flushing kit that comes with the eardrops and then the syringe flusher or whatever. So I'm waiting for just one more night of eardrops because, Matt. Me, I have to read the instructions. Apparently, you're not supposed to do it. Put eardrops like more than 5 nights in a row. So now I am officially spooked. I don't want the ear medicine to corrode my brain. But Matt, what have you been up to this week?
Jaren, I have been, as usual, as per the Mistake Zone opening for the past 3 weeks, I feel like, just been wasting my money.
I love dirty consumerism, Matt. What did you hurt Wallet Coon with this week?
So, Jaren, I was unaware that there was a... Jaren, do you know the game Dixit?
I do not, unfortunately.
Okay, so this is a board game, where you kind of like just get these cards with abstract kind of art on them. And then you have to like place them down. It's very similar to kind of Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity, that kind of game, where one person is a judge. They pick a card in their hand without anybody knowing, and they kind of give a clue, like like something like lions or something more vague than that. And then everybody has to pick a card from their hand that they think represents the word lions, and then they put it into the middle, shuffle the cards, you reveal the cards, and then everybody has to guess which is the, dealer's card at that point.
Oh, fair. Okay.
And, Jared, this is, I think one of my favorite party games because it's so simple to play. After, I think, the first round, everybody really gets the idea of how it works. And Sharon, usually I am not much of a fan of kind of a board game cross promotions with like existing properties because usually they kind of phone it in.
Yeah.
But Jaren, I this week spent my money on the Disney version of Dixit, which has honestly a lot of very nice looking kind of Disney abstract art cards, and it has the exact same rules as a Dixit, but it's more cards. The nice thing about all Dixit expansions and versions is that they have the same card backs, so you can mix them in with like all the other cards and play with them together, which is really good.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's what I've burned money on. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good party game. If I actually had friendly get-togethers in my mid-30s, that would definitely be something I would consider. But instead, you said cross-promotion, Matt.
Yes.
And twofold there. This game sounds like something that's up my alley, but not necessarily a Disney adult. Matt, does this game have any other, collabs that might be more up my alley?
To my knowledge, I think this is the first collab, which is like I think also why it was kind of a big thing that Dixit is collabing with a I don't know what would be like an existing property.
Fair. And Disney. So is it Disney proper, or does this mix into Marvel and Star Wars as well?
It's Disney and Pixar kind of based art.
Okay. So you can see at least the Disney family kind of expand to maybe, as I said, Marvel, Star Wars down the road. I think those would also lend itself to the game as well, as someone who hasn't played it. But Matt, what other collabs do you think would work in this game frame?
Honestly, Jaren, I know that it's not going to be like common for a lot of people to like really understand this one on the same level as Disney. But for some reason in my head, Magic the Gathering.
Oh, that would be pretty good, Matt.
Jaren also anime, but like, that has such a distinct art style that I wonder if it'll cross promote or cross into the game properly.
I think a more normie version would be, do you think a Pokemon one would work? I think a Pokemon one might be able to work.
I think a Pokemon one could work, yeah.
But Matt, speaking about collabs, our friend Mark, Saturday Morning Arcade Original, just linked me a tweet from at Nostalgia Folder. This tweet says, "Need KFC Guitar Hero meal from 2009 so bad." And Matt,
okay,
I'm looking at the KFC Guitar Hero meal from 2009, and I too would want this so bad. Matt, I know this is an audio podcast, but let me paint you a word picture.
Okay.
So we're looking at a large fountain drink.
Yes.
With a cup that's Guitar Hero World Tour branded. Inside the box itself, inside the Guitar Hero World Tour box, we have a KFC snacker sandwich. We have 2 chicken strips.
Sorry, Jared, are these like normal looking versions of this food?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Inside a Guitar Hero box. A drumstick, side of potato wedges, side of macaroni and cheese, and side of biscuit. Matt? That sounds like good eating. And
I don't think I've ever had the KFC biscuit.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe this was an American thing, but Matt, I'm looking at this snack box, this Guitar Hero meal box, and let's put our shoes on, class of '09, Matt, from last week. It's 2009. How much do you think this was? I don't know the price, but how much do you think a box like this would be in 2009?
In Canada? I think that this would be... Okay, so Jaren, in my head, since it is a promotional thing, I feel like it would be, slightly lower than if it was like a KFC branded box itself for some reason. So in my head, this is specifically $9.79.
I can see that, Matt. I think that's fair. I think that's fair, mostly just because I think food-wise, this is the equivalent of, would you say, a 3-piece meal with 2 sides? Yeah, I think around there.
3-piece meal.
We're like, under $9 You can probably get this under 10 in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I probably still wouldn't have paid it because back in 2009, I was still ordering and still do order off the value menu. And I think what kills me, Matt, is this meal box. Not only would the drink be smaller, I doubt you would get the two chicken strips, and the size would be smaller than what's on this picture, but probably for this box today, what do you think, Matt? 17.49
I
in today's
I
money?
think I think if you were to buy this unbranded, it would be 17.49. I think branded, it is like 15 something Canadian.
Okay, fair enough. Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm not going to tell you about fast food because it was
Oh man, Jaren.
interesting.
Actually, speaking of fast food, real quick,
Okay.
Jaren, I did a couple ventures out to my local McDonald's, and
Oh yes.
Jaren, I picked up some Yu-Gi-Oh! Hello Kitty stuff, or like toys
They're
that are in the
still
Happy Meal.
in the toy rotation, correct?
Yes,
For some reason, I feel like these should have been rotated out by now. So I'm actually shocked that you're still able to get some.
I was very surprised that it's still there, and I was able to get Obelisk the Tormentor and Dark Magician Girl.
Nice. So yeah, this is the Hello Kitty Yu-Gi-Oh! McDonald's toy collab. Comes in a Happy Meal. Matt, we have the Time Wizard. I forget who the collab is right now. I think there's a sweater blocking it, so I can't actually see it. And I was unsure if I talked to you about this on an episode previously, but Matt, I feel like the packages of the toys themselves are way better than the actual toys themselves because so a few weeks ago, as I said, me and my partner, we went out, we bought a Happy Meal to get a toy. Not a great McDonald's experience. If I'm putting on blast, was the Courtney Park in Mississauga. One. Ordered the kids meal. At first, when we got the toy, it was some Scooby-Doo toy. It wasn't even the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hello Kitty one. Knock one. Knock two, they didn't give us the chocolate milk, so we had to go back and get our chocolate milk.
No.
Knock three, I'm pretty sure we ordered the chicken nugs, and when we checked when we got home, it was like a cheeseburger.
No.
This was totally not the kids meal we ordered, but the fourth knock, and I guess this isn't on the Courtney Park McDonald's in particular, but that we opened it up, and this is probably, I don't know if this is just the state of McDonald's toys in 2024, but I was honestly unimpressed looking at it, because when we were looking, it's a plushie that can be is a keychain plushie, I guess. But it's one of those plushies where you would think that at least these plushies would have limbs or something. But I essentially picture a felt printout of, the character, and they kind of just sewed all around it, where it's just like, for lack of a better term, a pillow plush, as opposed to an actual plushie with limbs, or at least things resembling limbs. And not impressed, Matt. I think the collab has, super potential. The box looks cool, where I think if you lined all the boxes up, if you complete the collection, which I can go on Marketplace right now and buy all of them for $50 because people are vultures.
That's not horrible, I think.
Yeah, it's not horrible. Even though like a toy from McDonald's is what, like $4 now? Anyway.
Yeah, that's like
I don't know.
That's not bad. Jaren, honestly, I think that's not bad.
How many of them are there? There are like...
there's 10 of them.
Oh, there's 10 of them?
Yeah.
I thought there was only like 6. Okay, wow.
Yeah, $50 is really... I'm actually going to go on Marketplace and maybe just do that. Because Jaren, I feel really weird going there, and... Because I don't buy the Happy Meals, Jaren. I ask, hey, do you have this toy? And then... Jaren, I think it's really weird when they have it, I already have it, and then I just like, oh, never mind. And they're just like holding it. And I'm like, oh. And then I just order something. Jaren, right now it's dollar drinks. So if they have a thing already, I just get a dollar drink. But I have just been getting snack size McFlurries or snack size Grimace shakes.
Fair. Fair. I'm on my marketplace right now for the area, $4 each, which I guess is market price for
That's pretty
these.
good. They're $2 a piece plus tax.
Okay,
Which is pretty. I
$4
think yeah, pretty good.
or trade any one for the Red Eyes Black Dragon. I guess they're looking for the Red Eyes.
Ah.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
even know there was a Red Eyes.
that's actually a decent idea. I guess just
Am
buy
I just
like
trading it up?
yeah, just like buy a couple of them, and then like just trade with people and maybe who have different ones.
That would be pretty cool, Matt. Not me though, Matt.
Hmm.
Not me. But Matt,
Hmm.
speaking about me not being great,
Huh.
Matt, you know how a few weeks ago Fortnite Festival received an update that allowed you to start using, your plastic instruments from Rock Band yesteryear
Yes.
or whatever the new Riff Master is that they just recently released or that company recently released.
Hmm.
So Matt,
Hmm.
this weekend I was at my parents and I, dug underneath my bed in my parents' place and broke out my Rock Band 4 Stratocaster wireless Xbox One controller. And I thought, I'm going to bring this home
Hmm.
and I'm going to play some Fortnite Festival. I couldn't find my my Rock Band 4 disc, but Matt,
Hmm.
Rock Band 4 is just like $10 on Xbox Live. And I thought, okay, I'd just double up at that point. If I wanted to play Rock Band 4 on my Xbox at home. So I, blew off the dust off the box because, Matt, it's been close to 5 years probably since I last played Rock Band 4
Hmm.
and in turn used that controller. Matt,
Hmm.
I thought this would happen and it did happen.
Uh-huh.
So, took out the controller, opened it up and thought, yep, totally left some Walmart great value batteries inside here.
Classic.
And 5 years later,
Hmm.
those batteries totally eroded.
Uh,
And, I had to take out the batteries, took out the discharge as best I could, and thought, okay, I'm going to bring this home, connect it to my Xbox Series X, and play some Fortnite. Matt, bring it home, pop in some new batteries, hold down the Bluetooth button on my controller, and then hold it down on the Xbox. Nothing happens. So I thought, okay, this is weird, but luckily I still have my Xbox One. So break out the Xbox One from its crypt. Waited, the 5 minutes to update it since, again, Matt, I haven't used this Xbox One in probably a year and a half. And same thing, I hit the sync button, hit it on the controller as well. Nothing happens. Where I'm pretty sure the battery discharge probably messed up something internally where I think at this point, Matt, I should probably just open it up and see what's under the hood and maybe try to clean it with rubbing alcohol if I see anything. And maybe look up, Matt, as someone who still hasn't fixed their Hafumi Nendoroid, I totally think this is in my wheelhouse to open up my Rock Band 4 Stratocaster and see what's up. But unfortunately, Matt, not only do I have more useless plastic in my house right now, but didn't get to play Fortnite this week.
Damn.
And that made me feel real bad. Where I also thought that, if you take off the battery cover, there's a USB port that you can plug it in, a cable, and then you connect it directly to your PC or your Xbox. And I thought, okay, maybe if I can't, get it to sync, I can just plug it in directly like a normal Xbox controller and use it on, my Xbox or my PC. But apparently after looking it up, that doesn't work just because the port itself doesn't transfer any of the controller functions. It's only there for firmware updating purposes. And 5 years later, me trying to find any potential firmware from, let's see, Harmonix that was absorbed into Epic Games and Mad Catz, who originally made the controller and doesn't exist anymore. So,
Rip in peace, Mad Catz.
I found what I think was the Harmonix website, like their Zendesk, like help portal. Clicked here to download the firmware, and Matt,
Uh-huh.
Chrome thought it was suspicious and didn't let me download it.
Damn.
So that's my adventure with trying to play music games this week. Matt, do you have any music game adjacent thoughts or musings this week?
Jaren, I fell down a very strange music hole
Okay.
this week.
What's up,
Jaren,
Matt?
okay, so I am about as far removed, I think, from rap as I can be.
Yes.
And
Of the two, of the two, Matt, of the two of us, this is why we're a great tag team. We have our own likes and preferences. Where if someone were to say who would be the rap and hip hop enthusiast of the two, I think that would be my area.
yes, 100%.
Yep.
And Jaren, even though that I am I believe far away from it, I still somehow was getting served the the Kendrick Drake rap beef stuff.
Yes.
And ended up watching it and stuff. I was like, okay, or listening to it. So I'm like, okay, cool. It was interesting to dip into that. And Jared, I think my algo took a kind of wild trip from there, or wild hit from that, because I think it started taking my video game algorithm stuff, and then that quick hit of rap stuff, and it combined them into Jaren, something that I never would have expected was a thing at all.
Which is?
Jaren, I was served music creation speedrunning.
Amazing. Matt,
Uh-huh.
I have been served this before, and
Jaren,
Matt,
this is so wild of a community.
Matt, I think speedrunning communities in general, whether it be, what we're used to in our realm of, hobbies and interests, which is the video game portion, but seeing other hobbies take a crack, or not even take a crack, but implement speedrunning into their activities as well is one of the most wildest things in the world. I know competitive XL is the meme, but Matt, I've been down some XL speed runs as well. But when it comes to music production, Matt, what caught your attention specifically?
Jared, it was specifically the kind of competition, or I guess technically, I guess the speedrunning category of the Soldier Boy intro, which Jaren is amazing. I love watching these videos. I love when my favorite thing for when you find a new thing to a rabbit hole to fall down is the people who compile information about it and make their own oh, did you know about this weird ass shit? Here, let me tell you about Soldier Boy speedrunning.
Amazing.
And man,
they're the real heroes, the curators of content.
Jaren, I don't know. I loved watching this Soldier Boy intro creation just because, I don't know, watching that first guy's video of okay, cool, I created the Soldier Boy intro and it was 30 something seconds, and then the end of the video just being, please don't beat this record. I tried really hard to do it.
Matt, I feel like that's an honest request.
Jared,
that's an honest request.
Jared, of course the internet is gonna be assholes about it, and then of course the internet's gonna do it. And Jared, I think the lowest I saw is 19 seconds or something.
Gotta chase that 18-second high, Matt. Gotta chase that 18-second high.
Jared,
oh, man.
I think
what's up?
The thing that is the best about the music speedrunning, I guess, videos, is that okay, so Jared, when you're watching a normal speedrun, you're seeing them do the thing, right?
Yes.
But for music speedrunning, they are creating the track without really listening to it. So they're just mashing in the kind of beats that they need to put into Fruity Loops, and then they stop their timer, and then they have to see if their thing is legit.
Oh, so good, Matt. So
by
good.
playing their song.
Yep.
And I don't know, the suspense, the end of song reveal or end of run song reveal is so good. Of just like listening to it to see if they hit everything.
Matt, you know what I love? Especially when, you get to the playing the song just to make sure it's in order. Just the pop off when it clicks, Matt.
Yeah.
When it clicks and you did good.
Oh,
I think
man.
in general, I love me a good speed running pop off where, not gonna lie, Matt, as a viewer, you know what gets me? Whenever someone finishes a run of whatever they do and they can confidently say world record right there. Like, the equivalent of the mic drop, the controller drop. Love me a good world record.
Oh, man. God,
So good,
Jaren,
man.
I love it. Also, Jaren, I got served the Kids Bop version of Not Like Us, and it's pretty good.
Yep. I did get served that as well.
Oh, God, that's so good.
That, it makes me feel good that in 2024, we can still get good Kids Bop parodies and also actual Kids Bop releases that, aren't actually parodies, but in this time, or at this point of time, might as well, be anyway. Matt, speaking about YouTube.
Yes.
Where Matt, I think you know me.
Yes.
I might have hoarding tendencies, if you will, where, Matt,
yeah,
whenever I get served a YouTube video that I want to watch, I, click the three circles, the three dots, and add to my watch later playlist.
Yes.
And over the weekend, we're, to all our Hollow homies out there, Hollow Live recently completed their week-long Minecraft hardcore server and clips galore, Matt. Clips galore. So I thought, okay, there's a lot of clips going on. A lot of my talent that I enjoy have clips being made of them. I'm going to add it to my watch later, as I would. And then Matt, I believe it was some sort of Kyla related clip. And I tried to add it to watch later. And then I get an error, Matt. And I thought, oh, this is weird. Why am I getting an error? And then I tried to add another clip. I think this was a polka clip. And another error. And then I thought, oh, this is weird. So I actually clicked it again and looked just to see what actually the error is. Matt? I exceeded my number of videos you can add to a playlist for my watch later. And Matt? My watch later is currently 5,000 videos.
Damn.
And I'm sorting it right now, Matt, where I'm sorted to date added oldest and making sure to, include videos that are unavailable right now. Matt, my list has been, I've been curating, let's say, this list for the past 3 years. So
3 years?
Yep.
How did you watch later? Jared, I thought you were gonna say it's from like 2010 or something.
Nope. My watch later is a 3-year-old playlist, and that. How did I not watch any of these videos yet?
Oh God, Jared, damn.
For some reason, I'm looking at a Hello Happy World Circle live show at 1 hour 24 minutes. Matt? I don't know why I have this watch later because I can't understand whatever they're saying here.
I think maybe
Matt,
you watch later in case it gets subs later.
Matt, should I click remove watched videos?
Ooh. Jaren, you know what? I think first you should duplicate. Can you duplicate watch lists?
Matt, maybe you can edit around this if this isn't interesting. But Matt, now I'm curious. Nope. Matt, I don't think you can duplicate a playlist. But Matt,
damn.
We'll save this for next week. Okay. We'll save this for next week. But Matt, how big's your watch later playlist?
Let me see. Jaren, my watch later is only 251 videos.
Matt, You sound like someone who actually watches these videos later.
Oh man.
And that
Jared, I don't think I've
applaud you.
removed things from my watch later, actually, now that I think about it.
Me neither. Me neither, Matt. But
Oh wow.
I'm quick
Jared,
on the draw, Matt. What's up?
I'm looking at I'm looking at the playlist that like YouTube creates based on I guess like stuff that your actions taken. And I'm surprised that I've only ever liked 538 videos.
Oh. Okay, I'm on my liked videos right now, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I have 15 liked
Oh
videos
man.
on my playlist. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to cut this down because some of these videos I don't know why I liked.
Oh
Some of
man.
these
Uh-huh.
I have our friend's wedding live stream as one of my liked videos.
Nice.
But anyway, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking for what, half an hour now, and this is a train wreck of an episode, so I think we should probably talk about
Something
some sort of a video game or anime adjacent topic.
Okay.
So Matt,
Mm-hmm.
in true Mistake Zone fashion, I'm going to circle back to a game we technically talked about a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And Matt,
Uh-huh.
we talked about this during our latest Steam Next Fest episode.
Yes.
And this was one of my most I guess this was my most anticipated game from that round of Steam Next Fest. And it came out earlier this week. Matt, I'm talking about Mullet Mad Jack,
Yes.
which is a boomer shooter meets roguelite game. And I have around 3 hours playtime so far, and that was enough to finish the main story. But
Oh, okay.
I think similar to Neon White, this isn't necessarily a game, you go to for story. While I think the story is what it is, it does enough to really give you the flavor of the world it's trying to create. It got a few laughs from me, and it has its moments. It's nothing super groundbreaking, but in terms of actually, if you've been listening to the Mistake Zone, I'm pretty sure our friends have a, kind of not necessarily expectation, but they'll know our type of humor, or at least my type of humor. And I feel like some of the zingers in Mullet Mad Jack, is right up my alley, so I do enjoy it. And not the ending gave me a really good smirk. So so as I said, kind of during our Steam Next Fest episode, Mullet Mad Jack is kind of this fever dream that is really reminiscent of, that 80s synthwave aesthetic, 80s action heroes, 80s anime, and you play as, I guess, Jack, who has a mullet and is angry. And essentially, it takes place in a world where man and the internet has synthesized, and the AI overlords have taken over. The robo billionaires run the world, and their form of entertainment is watching moderators, aka who Jack is, compete in these death games. And for Jack's sake in the game, he has to save the princess influencer who has been captured, and she's currently on the 10th floor of this building. So Jack has to traverse all 10 floors to get to her. But the key is Jack only has 10 seconds to live as a moderator. And he gets more seconds added to his lifetime or life bar by killing. And the game presents a number of different difficulties. There's actually a boomer shooter difficulty, which is even under the hey, easy, I just want to see the story difficulty, where the boomer shooter difficulty just makes it a classic FPS. You do have life, but you don't have the ticking timer, which if that's kind of your pace, I think that's a cool option. And as you go through the difficulty levels, it's, hey, you might have a 10-second life bar, a 15-second life bar. Kills might give you 1 second or 2 seconds. And when you kind of get to hard and challenge, it's, hey, kill, you don't get any health power-ups, but and you headshots give you a certain amount, melee kills give you a certain amount of life, and it's those later difficulties where you have to be just really have variety to your kills and just kind of be more stylish. And
Yeah.
that, of course, the final difficulty is permadeath, where it's you versus all, I believe, 86 floors, and you only have one life, which sounds too hardcore for your boy, Matt.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think with Mullet Mad Jack, it is that franticness that really makes this game such a fever dream. Again, it's from that over the top glorified violence. That sort of games that I think was popularized by Hotline Miami. So as you're kind of going through each level, you're essentially just holding down W to go forward and reacting to whatever's around you, getting to the end of the floor. And once you complete a floor, you get one of three choice or power ups, and this is where the rogue element comes through, where you can get different weapons, different power ups, exploding ammo chance, ricochet ammo chance, and that one of my favorites is, hey, do you want Mullet Mad Jack to be more witty and actually just say more dialogue during the game? So this all culminates to the 10th floor, which is the boss fight, where you get taken off the timer, and it's essentially just kind of a arena shooter versus one boss enemy.
Oh.
And when you move on to the next set of 10 floors, you kind of lose all your power-ups and you kind of have to start again. And you can unlock passive upgrades that affect all your runs whenever you complete one of each, like every 10th floor, and that's you get to keep one power up from your loadout to move on to the next phase, or hey, you can re-roll the store just if you don't like the selection, and stuff like that. So it's pretty minimal like after one playthrough you'll get all of the power ups you need. So it really does get to the point of, okay, how stylish can you make your runs? Because eventually I do like how the endless mode, which is essentially the end game content, kind of feeds into the story and has, story context of why you're running an endless mode variation, which I thought was a really neat touch too.
So, Jaren, like when it's going for the kind of like variety stuff,
Yes.
do you know how it's tracking that?
So essentially, you get scored when it comes to kind of your combos. Essentially, how fast do you clear a level? It's kind of like your typical character action game where I believe there's some sort of internal timer where after you kill someone, you have X amount of time to kill another person to kind of keep your combo going. And from there, the variety comes from, okay, are you getting a headshot? Are you getting a body shot? Are you getting a nut shot? Are you activating melee kills? Are you getting environmental kills, whether that be exploding barrels or, you have a kick button? Are you kicking people off ledges, into fans, into other environmental hazards?
I see.
That's kind of where the variety comes, where typically for me, my play style is, okay, I want like a submachine gun and I want my headshot bonus. So I'm mostly just doing headshots or trying to use a submachine gun with high rate of fire just to get headshots and kind of complete the level, where I'm pretty sure high level play with that variety is, okay, how are you making the most of your environment and also making sure to kill everyone in a level? Because at the end of the level, part of your final score is, hey, how many of the enemies on this floor have you killed? And I typically only kill around 70% of enemies. So Matt, I'm slacking there. I'm slacking. But yeah, as you kind of move up, every 10 floors, they'll also, each, I guess, section gives you a new environmental hazard where, say from 11 to 20, there's acid floors that if you get a power up that says, oh, acid doesn't damage you, that kind of, not to be honest, pretty much nullifies the second boss and makes it a lot more manageable since, acid doesn't affect you. But I think it's the third set, from I think 21 to 30 it's when they add more platforms, and there's like, light platforming, Matt, where you can also do wall runs. And Matt, I think it's one of those games where even though before you start, that section, they give you a small little tutorial area to, just try out the new mechanics. And that wall running is pretty simple. You just hold W, you aim your cursor or, your reticle to like the wall, and then you'll start running across the wall. But for some reason, I don't know if it's muscle memory on the games I play, but whenever I want a wall run, it's me running, jumping into the wall, and then like holding shift. And you don't have to do that. But for some reason in my dumb gamer brain, I'm forcing myself to do that, and I'm screwing up jumps where I think the platforming just doesn't feel great in a way, because when Jack runs across the wall, he'll automatically hop off afterwards, where that also kind of throws me off, just because for me personally, I want to wall run and then just drop down on the platform below. But then you have to kind of mentally figure, oh, he's going to jump off there. I need to kind of compensate for wherever he lands, and hopefully, drop kick someone when I land too, since they'll always spawn an enemy there. And yeah, as you go on, there's locks on doors that you have to shoot, lava floors, spinning saw blades. And I think one of the cool thing about the story mode and how it works as a tutorial as sorts, those environmental hazards, even though they might appear in later levels, they're mainly in those 10 floors. But when you get to endless mode and just seeing how far you can get, everything is at play at that point. So that's kind of when you have to get on your toes. But yeah, Matt, really do like the game. It has a lot of different characters. In between, you do have a announcer who's kind of the commentator throughout the game. And as much as I like the announcer, Matt, when you transition into a boss fight, I feel like the announcer reuses the same lines, where she doesn't have as many lines as I wish she would have had, especially in between floors when, you're selecting a new power up. She only has like a dozen at most, lines that, after your first or second run, she'll start to kind of repeat lines. Yeah. Even in some cases, she just doesn't say anything, where I kind of wish there was more just variety in lines there. But when it comes to characters, Matt, whenever you start a new floor, even if you don't have the witty essentially the witty power up makes you say something every time you get a kill. But just in general, the default is Jack says something to start off a round, and that really good advice from our pal Jack.
Oh, nice.
That, I wrote down some of my favorite like level introduction lines, and I want to see if this is not only the vibe you're into, but the vibe that our friends might be into, so they can play this game as well. Some lines that Jack will introduce a level with.
Yes.
1, women love proper hygiene. 2, don't go into debt.
Yeah.
3, eat more potatoes.
That's arguable, Jaren.
Matt, that's a lot of starch and carbs. Matt, 4, billionaires do not care.
Yep.
Matt, I can get behind that one. I can get behind that one. 5, sometimes happiness is a choice.
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah.
I'm into that. Matt? And finally, the one I wrote down, make a new friend every day.
Jaren, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Matt, it's an insane game. It's an insane game. Kind of wrapping up here, Matt. There's one power-up that I thought would be really cool, but it kind of sucks in my opinion. Matt, towards the end of the game, you'll unlock a power-up called the Shuriken, which every 10 seconds, you'll throw out a Shuriken in front of you, and it can ricochet against walls. Matt?
Wait, Shoryuken?
Yeah, Shuriken.
Oh, Shuriken. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Shoryuken, like the Ryuken, the uppercut.
Matt, I've also been playing some Street Fighter 6 because Akuma's coming out soon.
True.
But anyway, So I thought this was an active ability because, some weapons or power ups, you can throw with the T key.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, okay, maybe I can just throw this with my T key and every 10 seconds I'll get a new one. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
it automatically throws one every 10 seconds and then goes into cooldown. And I don't like that.
Oh,
I feel like,
wait. Mhm.
especially in a game that's, all about style, being stylish and precision, I feel like that should be an active ability for you to actually use when you have enemies around you. Where if it's just every 10 seconds you're firing something, more often than not, Matt, during my runs, whenever I pick this weapon or this power up, it shoots out and there's nothing around me.
Uh,
And when stuff is actually around me, it's on
mm-hmm.
cooldown. And not
Mm-hmm.
great, Matt. I feel like that isn't great.
I see. I see.
But it's a fast paced game, Matt. The art style really lends itself. I actually like the art style a lot. If I had to be honest, though, you know, it the level of variety isn't much. You're kind of traversing this building, so all the environments kind of do look the same. And I think as much as I do like the art style, I think it does also lend itself easily for you to get lost in a level, especially with the whole point is you to get to the end point. And if there's some platforming instances, you might actually miss the jump or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it blends in a lot. And you can't tell if there's a gap there, or the most evil thing is, oh, this floor is actually glass and will break if you stand on
Oh,
it
that's
a
gross.
bit too long. But anyway, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
story wise, I feel like the story wise, it does lend itself to potential sequels, just because, not to get into much spoilers, but towards the mid of the game, I guess when the big baddie kind of reveals his evil plot with the princess, it takes the story at its core is that, typical, oh, robot or android existential crisis, plus who you as a character, how much control do you have over your own actions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it also takes a supernatural toll of, oh, is there something more than this, you know, AI robo billionaire hellscape that we know of, or is there something beyond this? And
Mm-hmm.
I think even though it never actually fully explores what's beyond this, if they wanted to do a sequel, I feel like there's an opportunity there to actually, give you more variety than this 80s aesthetic. But
Mm-hmm.
for the as it is right now, fun game. I'm trying to really climb endless mode now, just because that's where the game is. But it is you trying to find your flow. And before we move on, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think when I got to the third area, floors 30 to 40 or so, I found the timer just like too much to deal with, Matt. 10 seconds
Mm-hmm.
was too short. 1 second kill, like life per kill, too short. And I think that's when I bumped it down to easy mode, which, gives you 15 seconds default and like 2 seconds per kill, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I, by knocking it down, of course, the game gets a lot easier, but I feel like I was actually dulling my skills at that point, just because when I was playing on, the default difficulty in the first few worlds that I was doing, it was a lot more fast paced. It was me kind of just trying to be frantic and react to everything. Where when you get that additional 5 seconds and then you get, 2 second or the additional second per kill, I found myself taking it a lot more slower. And that I feel like was a detriment when I was, thrown into endless mode right after the game. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
for you in 2024, when it comes to game difficulty, where do you fall on the whole on the just want the story slash easy difficulties, and how do you feel about bumping it down when you're playing a game?
Jaren, I think I'm totally fine with the easy difficulties if you just want the story. It is, there for people who just want the story. I think video games
Yeah,
are becoming a much more inclusive media, and I think like that has to just be a part of it.
Hmm.
But with regards to Jaren, I am a Jaren. Maybe I'm just a baby here, but or I guess stubborn baby here. Jaren, I'm not gonna lower the difficulty for a game that I've already started unless I purposely picked a higher difficulty and I realized, oh, I can't hang here. Jared,
Fair.
I will stop playing the game before I lower the difficulty.
Man, that's fair, Matt. Where I
Hmm.
think with me and Mullet Mad Jack, I just kind of wanted to see what everything had in store. Plus,
Hmm.
again, this isn't necessarily a game you follow for the story. It's okay, you have the story. That was essentially the tutorial. Go at endless mode or try to do permadeath, where it's you kind of refining your skills. Where I thought, okay,
Oh wait,
I'm gonna get the story.
sorry, Jaren. Was the endless mode not available by default?
No, it is
Oh,
available
oh
by
okay, okay.
default, which is
Hmm.
cool. But when you select, like, it throws after you finish the game,
Hmm.
it throws you into endless mode.
Ah,
And
I see.
again, the story context kind of you start it again with a new context. But I think one of the achievements for the game is start up endless mode from the main menu.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, I think for me, I was okay with bumping it down. But I think like you, Matt, it's one of those things where I think I try to stay on the given difficulty,
Hmm.
which is normally normal. I rarely go back to games, and if I do, that's when I kind of bump up the difficulty. And I think for me, sometimes if I do find the game a bit too just brain dead in general, I'll also bump it up where something like a persona where you know me, man, if I overgrind and it becomes like too easy peasy, I might be bumping it up just a bit.
So you'll bump it up so you can grind past that.
Yes, yes.
Oh
But yeah, Mullet
no.
Mad Jack Matt available now. I believe I pay 10% off until I think for the first 2 weeks.
Oh,
So I
nice.
paid I think $19 Canadian before taxes. Yep, it's a good time. So story mode, I think you're looking at around 2 hours, especially if you play on one of the easier difficulty.
Hmm.
Even less than that too, if you're kind of just blowing through it. But again, it's not necessarily a game you come to for the story. It's hey, how can I beat my high score? And Matt,
Hmm.
luckily, this does have a friend leaderboard as well. And I have one friend that is also playing the game. So
Nice.
now I have a goal of, okay, because Matt,
Hmm.
my first endless run, horrible.
Huh.
Didn't beat the first floor. And now I'm grinding it again just so I can get a respectable time on the
Jaren,
leaderboard. But
I can't
what's
remember
up?
if we talked about this on the show before. Do you like the friend leaderboard system?
I I actually do because
Mm.
I feel like, especially with this type of game, and I go back to a game we talked about, in one of the first episodes of the season or the last season of the Mistake Zone, like Neon
Hmm.
White. I feel like with Neon White, I was able to get more out of that just because, again, if it's like a global leaderboard, I feel like I'm never going to be in that conversation
Hmm.
where a global leaderboard doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But with like a friend leaderboard, that's where I think I can get more out of a game. Where, especially with Neon White, it's okay, I'll finish the level. Oh, what's my friend doing? Oh, his score is, I think I can beat his score, so I'll start retrying. And that's kind of what pushes me. Even though, Matt,
Hmm.
realistically, I'll never message them about the game. It's one of my
Uh-huh.
sick. I'm sick in the head, Matt. Where okay, I got one up on him, but he'll never know because I'm not going to tell him.
Hmm. Hmm. I see.
How do you feel about the friend leaderboard, Matt?
Jared, I am mostly negative on the friend leaderboard.
Okay,
Jared, I don't like it because I don't want people to see how bad I did on a particular thing. Because I think I especially dislike it on stuff that is like neon white, where you do a level a certain amount of times,
right.
and I I don't want someone to be like, okay, cool, I finished that level in like 30 seconds. Okay, oh cool, somebody else on the leaderboard. Oh, it's Matt. Oh, it took him 4 minutes to finish his level, and I don't want so. Oh, and Jared, I both, especially I guess for something like Neon White, where every run is so quick.
Yeah.
One where they record your run, so they can see me just mess up a run over and over.
Oh no, the ghost, Matt. The ghost of your pasts. Actually, speaking about that, I think what I do appreciate about Mullet Mad Jack is, Matt, I think your standard floor will take you around, 30 to 40 seconds. I think even a minute at most, and then a 10 set will, it shows you kind of the chapter ends or your chapter stats. And I think there's something fun about, I finished this chapter technically in like 7 minutes, from front to back, even though I died a bunch of times. So I think it's a quick game, but once you're able to get into the flow and you can make it from floor 1 to floor 10 and beat the boss, you're only looking at like 8 minutes. But that's the type of game it is. So if you're into, something like a Neon White, where you're trying to do time attacks, or if you like that over the top violence or stylized violence with that 80s aesthetic, definitely check it out. Matt, one thing that was weird though, you get an achievement for finishing it on the boomer shooter difficulty, but you don't get an achievement for finishing it on easy or normal, which is kind of weird. So I guess I have to go back and finish it on hard for an achievement. And maybe I'll try the permadeath mode and see how far I get there and complain to you when I die pretty early on, because I'm bad at video games, Matt. But yeah, that's Mullet Mad Jack, and that brings us to the weekly Don't Match Me challenge. And Matt, I'm bringing a Don't Match Me challenge, loosely adjacent to Mullet Mad Jack this week. So get ready for the Mistake Zone Don't Match Me challenge, where it's simple. I'm going to give 5 categories, and all you have to do is, think of an answer and make sure that answer doesn't match my answer. Matt? So Mullet Mad Jack, as I said before, heavily inspired by, that 80s aesthetic. And one aspect of that is 80s action movies.
Oh.
So for the first Don't Match Me challenge, name an 80s action movie. Just any 80s action movie. The 80s is known for some of those big action films, because Matt, that's when they produced some really big action stars. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if you said Cobra, you're out.
Oh man,
Matt, you still in?
Jaren, okay, I don't know. Jaren, would you consider Raiders of the Lost Ark an action movie?
You know what? I would consider Raiders of the Lost Ark an action movie. Matt, action does take place.
Action takes place.
So, Matt, on the other side of that 80s coin, another inspiration that it wears on its sleeve, Matt, 80s anime.
Ooh.
So, for this category, we'll ease into it. Matt, and all our friends out there, just name any 80s cartoon or anime. Just something that, I'll even give it just debuted in the 80s as well, where it can run into the 90s if you want, but just any 80s cartoon or anime that debuted in the 80s, hence the 80s moniker. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if you said Fist of the North Star, you are out.
Oh man, still in, Jaren, still in.
Okay. So Matt, we're talking about Mullet Mad Jack. And Matt, if I'm thinking of mullets, I'm thinking about hairstyles. Just name any hairstyle.
Jaren, I don't know haircut names.
Yeah, just any hairstyle, Just Matt and all our friends out there, just think about when you're creating a character and scrolling through the hairstyles. Sure, sometimes they'll give you a number, but then sometimes they'll give you names. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if you named any hairstyle and that hairstyle was an undercut,
oh man,
you are out.
Oh, Jared, I picked Skrillex.
Oh no, Matt.
Oh man. Oh, I got got, Jared. I got caught. I can't believe Skrillex would do this to me.
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry, but we can still keep going. We can still keep going with and play with our friends at home. So round 4. Matt? Now when we're thinking Mullet Mad Jack, I'm thinking Mad. So for all our friends out there, and Matt too, name any game, video game or board game, with the word mad in the title.
Oh, God.
Yep. So just name any game, whether it be video or board game, with mad or a mad variation in the title. And we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Friends. And Matt.
Jared, can I guess what your answer's gonna be?
Yes.
I can only think of this game.
Okay.
Jared, did you think of Alice Madness Returns?
Matt?
Uh-huh.
I was originally going to do it, but I thought that was too easy.
Oh, okay. I can't think
That
of
was
any
too
other
easy.
games.
Matt, I thought of Mad Max.
Oh, I see.
Whatever Mad Max game came out recently.
Oh,
Matt,
man.
what was that full name? Yeah, it was just called Mad Max. That's what it is on Steam. And this came out in 2015.
I like how you said recently that it came out in 2015.
10 years ago.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm thinking about the new Mad Max movie, that Furiosa movie that I think just came out too. I should probably watch that. So final round, Matt. We got through Mullet, we got through Mad, and we got to get through Jack. So final question, final round of this week's Don't Match Me challenge. Name any Jack from a standard deck of 52 cards.
Ooh.
Just name any Jack, and it's it's suit. Easy enough. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said the Jack of clubs,
Ooh.
I'm sorry, you're out.
Oh, man. Wouldn't have been out that time.
Oh man. And that is the Don't Match Me challenge this week. Matt. Sorry about the Skrillex undercut. I would have Matt, for some reason I thought you would have said Afro.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Oh, man. I can only think of the Skrillex.
Thanks, Skrillex.
And
Matt, thank you for joining me this week on The Mistake Zone, every week, and also editing this podcast.
Thanks, Jaren. And of course, want to thank you, as always, for hosting it and bringing us our Don't Match Me challenge this week.
Oh, thanks, man. So we are, talking apparently makes my voice hoarse, but who else should we thank this week, Matt? I want to thank that board game or that card game you mentioned at the top of the show. Can you shout it out one more time?
Dixit, and I guess technically Dixit Disney.
All right.
I want to thank Jaren. They announced the English version of Fitness Boxing featuring Hatsune Miku. I think, not actually this week, I think like while we were recording last week.
Yes, Matt, I believe July 12th was the release date, somewhere in mid-July.
Yes. July teens.
Matt, TikTok served me that Switch accessory that makes your Joy-Cons into Miku brass knuckles, and I'm gonna try to find that as well. Maybe man. I need to go on Japan Amazon and hope for the best. But Matt, I want to thank Rock Band 4, even though my Stratocaster does not work. Matt, I don't want to thank, oddly enough, 2019 Jaren for not taking out the batteries from the Stratocaster.
That guy got you, man. That guy got you.
Damn. 2019, good year in anime, bad year of Jaren. Leaving batteries inside.
Oh, man.
Matt, I remember I looked at my PSP and then the battery exploded there too, so that wasn't a good time.
Oof. Oh, I should check my PSP.
You should, Matt. You should. I also want to thank Mullet Mad Jack. I want to thank the influencer Princess. And Matt, I know it's hard, but as our friend Jack said, make a new friend every day.
Jared, that's too much socializing.
Okay. As our friend Jack says, billionaires do not care. Matt, I should have just wrote down all his one-liners and then used them for the foreseeable future. But hey, maybe some other witty protagonists will be able to help me out in the future. But Matt, until then, please take it away.
This has been The Mistake Zone, and we're all out of room on this playlist.